In order to really understand what is death, we have to understand what is life and who am I. The Bhagavad Gita explains the difference between spirit and matter. As a matter of fact, the very first teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is that the true eternal identity of a person is the Atma, or the spirit soul. And that spirit soul is eternal, full of knowledge and happiness. It's extremely powerful, and it can never be slain. Just like the sun expands its sun rays throughout the universe, the soul spreads consciousness throughout one's entire body and gives it life. Krishna explains, as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth and to old age, similarly the soul passes into another body at the time of death. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna further unveils that the consciousness of a person at the time of death will determine the next destination. And that one who remembers him at that moment is sure to attain him. To develop such a consciousness throughout one's life, that is the art of Bhakti Yoga. The reason why we chant Hare Krishna is because there's a sense of urgency. After all, we could die at any moment. And when we chant, we are in a constant remembrance of Krishna. And in this way, we're always connected through him, through his divine names. People are afraid of death, to the point that they won't even talk about it. But a devotee of God is not afraid, because he's fixed in his true eternal nature and has achieved the greatest pleasure in the depth of his love and service to God. We can see that the death of great saints is usually a time of celebration. Though we mourn their departure, they're famous for having transcended that misidentification with the body and the mind, and they're glorified for being liberated before they even die. There was once a great emperor who was a great devotee, but he found out he only had a week left to live. His name was King Parikshit, and he lived a very powerful and opulent life. People loved him, and as the emperor, you can only imagine the kind of facilities and the wealth that he had. But he wasn't attached to any of it, and he understood that there comes a time when you have to let go. So, in an exemplary manner, and for the enlightenment of all, he took the opportunity of his imminent death to inquire from the great sage Sukadeva Goswami about God and the true meaning of life. And in this way he immersed himself in hearing about Krishna and about his activities until the moment he left his body. His line of questioning actually during those 7 days is the premise for the Srimad Bhagavatam, one of the topmost scriptures of India. Personally, what is my understanding of all this? Well, death is a natural passage point on our journey back home, back to God. So I trust in the process, and I'm happy to chant and share it with others. So, my name is Namamrita. I'm an airline pilot and a board member here at the Krishna House. Thank you for stopping by. Hare Krishna.